Hello, beautiful people. I have a new update for you regarding the bubble. I'll have to get a name for these alerts, but it's intensifying the battle, and the bears shot a torpedo across the bow of the bull today, and a number of the members of the ship jumped overboard. We'll see how things follow through tomorrow. If they do, sirens will go off because a lot of money is being lost. And I think we have, and by the way, I'm not a, I'm not a, I'm not a player here. I'm an observer. For me, the battle that's really going on is much bigger. It's operating on cosmic levels, if you will. But the markets provide me with a lens to how things are unfolding in a much bigger and sort of broader picture. And that intrigues me. So, plus I have professional insights into how things play out, how things unravel, how money flows. Now, back to the story. So, the Bears won a nice little battle today, and we'll see if it follows through tomorrow. Like I said, if it does, sirens will go off. We've gotten a much more clarity as to what ultimately, not saying it's here and now, but what ultimately is going to pin the bubble. It's going to be debt. And we already know that globally we have a debt problem, a sovereign debt problem. And I really want to emphasize it's not just here in America, it's everywhere. There's just too much debt in the world. Every nation is exceeding levels that historically economists have not been able to even economists have not been able to economists have not even been able to imagine it, these levels of debt. It's that outrageous. So there's that problem. And this is what the bears are primarily, one of the issues that the bears are really concerned about. For too long, the markets have ignored these fundamentals. So they know that there's that problem. But recently, the stock market, the visionaries of tomorrow, the Jetson reality, the artificial intelligence world, has come asking for a great deal of money, and they've gotten it. But they're now asking for more, and those numbers are just, they're asking for trillions more, or they're putting numbers out that says that they're going to need several trillion more over the next couple of years. So now they've already gotten trillions, and many of these companies don't have the prospect of sales for several years, let alone make any money. So as that has become clear, some of the stocks that have gotten this money, and as it has become clear, the debt holders are like, I didn't know that I was investing in this. I didn't know that. Imagine that. These are institutional investors now realizing who they've lent this money to and what the prospects are. And so there's a little shock there. We'll see if we'll see how much more shock comes about. But already it's cost large sums of money for many people in the market. Companies that were part of the hype, have lost 30-40%.
Dying times here.
Capital.
He's the ball cracker, death on foot. You know him, you love him. He's Blaster! The challenger, direct from out of the wasteland.
just in the
He's
last 6 months.
bad, he's beautiful, he's crazy.
And so now,
It's the man with
your other
no name!
now listen to this. As the market tries to understand the problem, it's debt. It's too much debt. And like I said, there's global debt, sovereign debt. So these arenas, the Jetson world, is not only has it taken trillions thus far, it's asking for several more trillion. The alarm is going off. Where's the money going to come from? In economics, we call this to some extent crowding out. That's where sovereign debt displaces private debt, or doesn't make enough room for private debt, becomes a huge burden. And this private debt, like I said, it doesn't have any prospects for sales, even trillions. Not even prospects for sales for a couple of years. Big problem. So, I must also mention white supremacy in the world. That's a problem here and now. At a time where um, we're going to need all hands on deck to resolve problems, the desires, aims of white supremacy is very, very problematic right here, right now. And you just also have the problem of very extreme valuations, historically extreme. They rest on expectations, dreams. That's what stock guys do. They dream. Good dreamers. Bond guys are always more nightmarish in their scenarios analysis because they look at hard numbers. But valuations, let me give you some idea. For example, let's take one of the hardest guys, Palantir, defense operator. This guy who runs the company, the CEO, he scares me. And he's the guy who recently got access or and control to all of our information. After Musk left, he kind of came in and became the guy. He's a defense contractor, and he's got all the data. I'm not going to make a comment about. I'm not going to go there. But anyway, mm, oh, back to his valuation. His company Palantir currently has a valuation at, I believe it's 200 times sales. Historically, an average valuation in good times for a company is 7 times sales. Buffett won't even look at a company that's, you know, I doubt if Buffett would look at a company that's greater than, 5 times sales. And this company has gone from a valuation of 30, 20-ish, let's say, I'll say 20 trillion 18 months ago, to now 300 trillion based on his forecast for sales. But he's not the only one, like I said. It's across the board. Valuations are at extreme. And I'll tell you guys, it's shameful to me, all the games that they're playing with respect to valuations. For example, no longer do they talk about, you know, past earnings. They now talk about earnings, you know, 1 to 2 years out, and to price a company off expected earnings 1 to 2 years out. It's ridiculous. It's absurd. But that's part of the narrative. That's part of the spend to justify these levels. And so this is so important, guys. These spinsters, from the CEOs to the pundits, um, they make wealth, they make money off of spinning you to a large extent. The more they spin you, the more they make. They get paid off the top, regardless. They've also recently been aggressively behind this new sector. It's not really new, but they're really, really pushing it. They're really pushing it. It's called the private credit sector. Now, in this sector, not only do they get greater fees to a factor of 5 times what they normally get, but they lock your money away for like 5 years. You can't even get your money. Once you put your money into private funds like this, private credit funds, usually the way most of them operate is your money's locked in for 3 to 5 years, if not longer. So beware, just beware. And I think they recently approved that 401s and less than sophisticated investors can invest in these private credit arenas. Just greed, just greed. So, like I said, for me, the battle is much bigger than a particular stock or whatever the case may be. It's for our souls. So I went there. Didn't want to. Oh, I think earlier I used trillions instead of billions when I was referring to the capitalization of the company Palantir. It's billions, not trillions. So let me bring this to an end. Um, Earlier, I said that I'm not a prophet. I'm an observer in the tradition spirit of observing. I have a prophecy. Recently, I was blessed with a new granddaughter, um, Jetson. And let me tell you, she's going to play a mighty role. Mighty, not some would say significant. I say mighty, in bringing about peace, love, and tranquility in our world. I know it. She's going to play a mighty role. Hi, Jetson. Um, with that, peace, namaste. Have a wonderful day.